Toyota is trying to change the impression that plug-in hybrids are slow and boring. We'll see if they did that in the 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime. This is a plug-in hybrid, and we'll see if it ranks. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. Plug-in hybrids are getting popular, and they certainly are an option because of that $7,500 tax credit. Remember, not every brand has that, so make sure to do your homework because your state might be offering an additional $2,000. But this is the 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime. Now, what that means, it is a plug-in, so you have a gasoline outlet on one side and an electrical charging port on the other. This is the first RAV4 that is a plug-in hybrid or a PHEV. This is the RAV4's first plug-in model. Remember, the Prius Prime, which is also a Toyota product, is also a plug-in. So with that technology, they've made some changes. With the RAV4, there are 3 electric motors and an inline 4-cylinder engine that total combined is 302 horsepower. Now, why are there 3 motors? Well, one is in the back, good for the all-wheel drive, and the front motors actually help push the vehicle off the line, but it also has a regenerative. In other words, when you hit the brakes, it will recharge the battery. Not a lot, a little bit, but remember, all that little bit adds up in the end, especially when you're talking about a plug-in hybrid. The vehicle itself looks very similar to other RAV4s. One way to denote it is the plug-in hybrid logo on the front and, of course, on the back. The only other thing to notice is this little vent up front. Other than that, this vehicle looks the same as any other RAV4. But there are a lot of other variables to this vehicle. So we're going to go through a full Car Coach Reports ratings, and in the end, when you go to take it for a test drive, you'll know what to look for and what to expect, and then of course check out the competition. If this is your first time to the channel, we give you car smarts and some information you may not get anywhere else, including our Car Coach Reports ratings. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that little bell because we give you more than car reviews. We give you great car information and ways to save money, as well as monthly incentives and hidden secrets. There's a lot more to the RAV4 Prime. Let's take it for a drive and go through all the Car Coach ratings. The United States was originally set to only get 5,000 of the all-new 2021 RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrids, but that number may actually be lower because there's a shortage of batteries. But this SUV is going to be popular. Let's check the 0 to 60 performance. Toyota says it's 5.7 seconds. Now remember, you can put it in normal mode or in sport mode, so we're going to put it in sport mode to give it its best opportunity. There's also an eco mode, which obviously is not meant for performance, but if you're getting on an on-ramp or you have to get around something or away from something, that's where performance really kicks in. The 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine has 3 electric motors. The gasoline motor has 177 horsepower, but when you add those 3 electric motors, that's where you're getting your get up and go. So here we go in sport mode, 0 to 60. Woo! Little bit of chirp on the tires too. Nice. That's pretty impressive, 5.7 seconds. Now, it's also important to know that the battery is underneath the car. It has 18.1 kilowatts of power. Your charging time is about 4.5 hours on your regular charger or about 2 hours or so on the superchargers if you have those available to you. If you're running in EV mode, you get about 42 miles before the gas engine kicks in, which is pretty good because some people don't even drive that much in a whole day. Of course, it depends if you're in stop-and-go traffic or you're up on the highway or wherever you live. The MPGe is 94 miles. If you're running a combination of both the gasoline and the battery power, like most people will do, you're going to earn about 40 miles to the gallon. That's pretty good. Remember, there are other vehicles in the Toyota lineup that also gets that fuel economy, but you're not getting that electric-only mode. When it comes to performance, the combination of the gas and the electric, the usability of both is really impressive, and it earned a 9. One of the goals that Toyota had was to make these cars more fun to drive, make them handle more sporty. All right, the car looks sportier and the interior details are sportier, but the vehicle itself doesn't handle sporty. As a matter of fact, it's kind of gushy suspension, which makes for a really nice soft ride, especially if you're, driving kids around and trying to get to a destination. And we have some rough roads here in New York State, so that's not a big deal. Great brakes, soft ride, handling, it's kind of disconnected a little bit, but you wouldn't be disappointed if you were looking for a vehicle to get you from point A to point B and to save money on fuel and to be a plug-in hybrid. Because the handling is a little bit sloppy, for handling, it earned a 6. Safety is an important factor when you buy any vehicle, especially a family vehicle like an SUV. And the RAV4 has always been a safe vehicle. Now, there are only 2 trim levels on this vehicle. And when you buy the higher trim level, you get the cross traffic alert and some of the other things, the blind spot detection that you want. I kind of wish Toyota had made it all standard across the line because safety is so important, and Toyota is about safety. And another safety feature that is probably overlooked and typically put into handling or performance is braking, but it seems like there's longer distances, maybe because of the regen on the plug-in hybrid. When it comes to safety, I wish it was all included, so I had to give it a 9. When it comes to visibility, the front windshield is long and it's tons of glass, which is great. Low sill level, which I do appreciate because you can actually see out of the windows on some of these vehicles. The sill is high. It makes the vehicle look cool on the outside, but it's not so great on the inside. One of the things about visibility that's important is the ability to see behind you. But if you got a bunch of stuff in back and people in back, especially 3 people, you're not going to be able to see. But Toyota has a solution for that. Just flip this little switch forward and the backup camera becomes an actual camera. About 180 degrees, really nice visibility, nice and clear. I know other cars have it, but typically that's a Cadillac type of product. You're seeing this also on the new Venza. Everything they thought about for visibility, it earned a 9. Many of you know that seating comfort is a critical factor for me. And the reason it should be a critical factor for you as well is because this is where you sit in the vehicle. Although the vehicle may look amazing and all these great features, if it's uncomfortable in seating, you gotta live with it at least 3 years, and most people get frustrated. So make sure the seating is comfortable for you. We're all built differently. Now, when it comes to the driver's seat, there is 4-way lumbar and 4 additional adjustment points, and the seats are comfortable. And they look good too, by the way. I love the red stitching in this XSE. Of course, this bright red exterior is also very nice, but it has nothing to do with seating. Go to the passenger side. You're not gonna be as comfortable. There is only 2 adjustments, forth and back, and the rake of the seat. No lumbar, and if you're going to sit there for a long trip or maybe switch drivers and passengers, you may not be as happy with the vehicle. Let's take a look at the second row and we'll give it a rating. Back here in the second row, there is plenty of knee room between the seat and my knees. I'm 5'8", I'm mostly legs, so that's good, but there's also spot for your feet to go underneath the seat, which some cars don't have because the battery on this vehicle for the plug-in hybrid is underneath the car, so you have plenty of room. That's a good thing. 2 people across the back, not a problem. A third person might be a little tight. In the center, there is 2 cup holders. Behind the center console is 2 vents and 2 2-point-amp USB charging ports. Great. To the door on this XSE, which is the top trim level with all the options, there is a heated seat option, which is really nice because typically plug-in hybrids don't have that for the second row. You've also got your window lift and a nice spot for a large water bottle. There are also 2 pockets behind each seat, which is appreciated. It's always good to put things someplace. There's tons of storage in this car, but when it comes to seating comfort, the driver's seat is great, the passenger seat not so great. Remember, you got to sit in both of those potentially at one point, so it's important to note that the passenger's not going to be as comfortable on a long road trip, but for seating comfort, it earned a 6. When it comes to technology, they've really done a good job. I mean, much more than you would think. Not just the information in front of you that gives you the EV range and your gasoline range, but you have the ability to adjust based on this little button to the left of the steering wheel to decide not just your audio source, turn on or off some of the safety features, but you're getting all this great information of which you get on most vehicles, but it's just a little bit more because it's a hybrid. So they've done a really excellent job on that. The steering wheel also has your cruise control and some other safety features, pretty standard. Stalks are pretty standard, nothing confusing whatsoever. To the left of the steering wheel, you have your automatic headlights, your wiper blades. Some of the buttons to the left include a camera that allows you to see around you. Just press the button. It's a little bit antiquated as far as some of the current technology that makes it look real, but they've done a good job. It reminds me a little bit of a gaming system. There's heated steering wheel, there's an AC 120 volt, the ability to open the trunk. But going over to the center stack, so you press the view button to the left, and you get this. That's pretty cool. You can see what's going on completely around you. Again, that's part of visibility, as well as some really cool technology. Going over to the center stack, on the trim level we're driving is the XSE. It is a 9-inch screen. You can get a 7-inch screen on the SE, but this has everything you need. You got your sources for your audio. You can press the buttons, which I appreciate, versus just smooth piano black, because sometimes you can hit the wrong thing. When you look at the navigation map, it's kind of dated. I mean, I'm surprised with some of the technology. I understand this vehicle comes in around $28,000 for the SE model. I have to say that I would think they would upgrade the map just a touch. Now, maybe that's the company that they're using, but overall the knobs are there. They've got little rubber grips on them, which I really appreciate. Audio system menu, you can hit your map if you want it. You can split it up however you'd like. I think they've done a really good job. And of course you can put apps in, because they used to use Entune, but now standard is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Google Assist. They've really thought about all the things that you would want. And I think that's really important in today's world. Some of the other features that they have as far as technology, everything's pretty easy to use. It's got a wireless charger, tons of charge ports. But overall for technology, it earned an 8. Now features is a slightly different thing. When it comes to features, it's all the goodies that we want. We typically buy vehicles based on features and seating comfort, and this has got a lot of features, not just all the great audio systems. This is a JBL audio system. It's really great, but it also has HD radio and all your satellite radio connection and your Apple CarPlay and such, like I've said. But when you're looking at some of the features, I really like some of the storage compartments. In front of the passenger side is this huge tray. You can put sunglasses there, you can put your phone there, you can put your lunch there, whatever you want. On the left side, there's a little storage bin too, good for change, maybe your wallet, depends on what you have with you. In a vehicle at this price point, in the trim level that we're in, which is the XSE, has heated and air-cooled seats as well as second row heated seats. Not typical for a vehicle in that $38,000 to $40,000 range. Of course, when you load this thing up, you're gonna be in the high 40s, almost into 50,000. The ability to change the buttons you want. I want just EV mode, I want a sport mode and eco mode. There's a bunch of different modes, eco mode, and of course you can go to sport, but there's also a trail mode. I don't know if I'd take this off-road, maybe if I'm going to a campsite, but then you got no place to plug in. So these are just things you need to think of. Standard Prindle, that's great. 2 nice cup holders. The ability to put a large bottle of water either in the door or in the center cup holder is much appreciated. Memory seat on the driver's side has 2 buttons, 2 settings. That's great if you've got different drivers. The center console is nice, soft. Everything is soft. Everywhere you are, the dash is nice, soft touch. I think that's really important because nobody wants to deal with hard plastic. You just feel like you're not driving a car. And they've really thought about all those details. Even in the overhead console, there's a place for your sunglasses. There's the ability to open this big, gigantic sunroof, huge panoramic roof, and it closes pretty quick. There's a lot of features in this vehicle, and they've really thought about how people are using it. With all these great features, you would think there'd be lumbar on the passenger side. I think that's kind of important. I don't know, what do you think? You can put that down in the comments down below. I've got a lot of comments from past reviews of other vehicles, and everyone kind of thinks it would be nice to have lumbar on the passenger side. Why not? But overall for features, it earned a 9. When it comes to design of the new RAV4 hybrid, it looks like a regular RAV4, and that's not a bad thing. And if you look at some of the other reviews we've done of the RAV4 and the RAV4 hybrid, you'll see that we really like this vehicle. But the design on the inside is excellent. They've done a really nice job. The exterior is great, especially the supersonic red. Great color choices, very exciting looking. It doesn't have everything that people would want when it comes to a hybrid, but they've really done a great job. I mean, I have to say, this was more than we expected. So for design, we gave it a 9. When it comes to quality, this vehicle is well built. It's a Toyota, it's to be expected, and there's a high bar, and they've met that bar. So for quality, you have to say, look at things that you're getting. A head-up display, well designed, well built in, soft materials, everything, every detail, real stitching on the seats and along the door panels. They've really thought about all these little details that I think get overlooked in many other vehicles, especially some of the competition. So when you're comparing, make sure to check, is it soft or is it plastic? Are the panels even? Well, the vehicles you're looking at, probably the Kia or the Honda, is going to be well built. When you're looking at quality of a vehicle like this, you're not going to be disappointed, and it earned a 10. There's a lot of competition in this space. There are other plug-in hybrids that are coming in at different price points, and they offer different features. Now on the RAV4 Prime, you can hold the button here on your remote, or you can do the kick underneath. And in the back, you'll see the storage. It's a little bit less than that of the regular RAV4. The regular RAV4 has about 4 cubic feet less. But when you put the seats down, you have a ton of room. You can lift up the levers, move the seats back and forth. Really easy to use. Storage-wise, in the back, there is a ton of storage. Although you're losing a little bit of storage, there is a mini spare underneath this coverage. Also, there's a spot for like your emergency kit and components. You've got your charge port outlet here, which you can keep in the back because you'll probably want to charge it every night. In addition to that, you have a 120-volt outlet, and you've got a plug-in for maybe a cooler or something if you're going traveling. But when you're looking at the value overall, a vehicle starting in that $38,100 price range, it came in about an 8 when you're looking at what you're getting from this vehicle compared to the competitors. As we get to the total of the Car Coach Reports ratings for the RAV4 Prime, did Toyota make its goal of not boring and not fast? Well, it does have really good pickup and the second fastest vehicle that Toyota makes. With all that in mind, considering we're not using these as race cars, we're using these as daily drivers and family vehicles, if you can get all the incentives combined and maybe some extras from your company, you might get even better value. But it gave it a total score of 83. And I don't think it's slow. And it's not really boring either. So Toyota did accomplish their goal. One of the most important things you can do is test drive every vehicle in the category. That makes a lot of sense. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and a share, subscribe. And if you got comments, I bought the RAV4 Prime, I bought the hybrid, maybe you bought one of the competitors. We really want to hear that. We want to start the community, start talking about this. This is a very popular car. I was stopped by a lot of people, including Tesla owners, who wanted to know about this vehicle. So that tells you they're going to have great sales, which means there's not going to be a lot of incentives, but you should also know this would be worth the money. Thank you so much for your support on our Patreon page. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget those comments down below. Take care.